All right, a lot of people just. Oh, you want to play? If he wants to play even, okay, I'm okay with that too. I actually don't really care if they want handicap or not. I usually just play with handicap because I think it's a little bit better with people for the people watching. But I actually don't care that much myself. It doesn't matter all that much to me, at least. So there's two ways to play this. You can like play a bunch of like crazy moves that you usually wouldn't do, or you can just win kind of like by just playing better moves. So it doesn't actually matter all that much. Let me pop this out. Which method you actually win with. And one more thing, like if you're playing blitz against a stronger player, the handicap should be much bigger because stronger players are just much more used to like stronger players are just way better at reviewing certain things. Like that's generally not a good play. I can actually ignore that, and but I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I would generally like if I was playing a regular game, I would actually ignore this because that's just kind of a weird play, honestly. I actually don't know how to handle this one, but I think I'm okay with this. So with this one, I would want to extend this out rather than protect this particular stone. I don't know if this was actually good for me, because I've actually never done this kind of exchange. I think it's okay. I didn't give him too much, and I did get a pretty solid wall over here, so I think I'm fine. But overall, yeah, not bad. It kind of a weird exchange, definitely. I want to make something from this wall, obviously. So we're going to come on this side. That's fine. And now we're going to put pressure on this over here. I don't actually know if this exchange has been good for me or not. It's kind of that is sort of kind of up in the air. That's fine. Counter pincer. See what they end up doing. Usually, I think you would come up, but since I have this wall over here, I gotta make use of it somehow. I think the best play for him would actually be in not that one, but I think this would have been better. However, this is not too bad for him because he can just cover over top if he really needs to. Covering over top would actually give me a tough time. Yeah, coming over top here would definitely be the best move. These are not good moves. It strengthens my it. These are not good moves. It strengthens my position against him significantly, and it opens up. It definitely opens up. You know, like positions like this one here. It's kind of a weird way to do things, I guess. He doesn't have it's a little bit of a harder position for him right now. Yeah, he doesn't actually have the... I don't believe he actually has a ladder. So you can't do this unless you actually have a ladder. I guess he could use it to cut, but this is like pretty damaging for... This is obviously is really damaging for black. This is not something you want to really ever do. You've given up too much territory here. You're still not that strong here. And white can play white can play this at any time, which I'm going to do sooner or later. So playing O2 actually isn't a bad play right now. I'm actually going to go ahead and cut this off because that weakens this group significantly. And also it weakens this corner as well. And if he decides to attack white afterwards, I can just play that. So playing this, if he doesn't answer, I can play something like this later on. So this will put pressure on this large group here. This attack from him is not going to be very successful. I can always rip here, but he has this outer box here, so I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to take away some of the points here. That's perfect for me. I get to take away the corner points. I get a little bit of a settlement here, and I basically don't have to worry about him attacking this group in the future. And if he doesn't move, I have this. I still have this move here later on. This defense, you can't like, so after So after you poked here and made this really strong, you can't defend against that invasion. Let's see if he knows how to play this right. I usually wouldn't play that because almost everyone would basically play. Everyone around my strength would essentially just play. Would essentially just play L7. That's fine as well. It may not be quite as good though. I mean, is it too late? This is actually, it's hard to get out of. I think it's possible, but it is hard to get out of. There are ways to get out of this because white doesn't have that many liberties, but it does take a certain amount of. There's ways to get out of it, but it does require some kind of technical fighting knowledge. I don't think that's the way I was thinking about though. I'm pretty sure that was the wrong move. You can't do something like that. Not here, anyways. All right, I mean, I guess you can do that. That's actually not bad. Because you have this cut here. I don't know if I would advise it now, but you do have that cut there later on. It's not so much thickness to live. You can't defend against this thing. You just can't defend against me taking points down here once you've made me really thick up there. The best play is to actually just let me take some bottom territory, but in exchange get really thick and attack my group up here. I think that's the best exchange. You can't do that because I do actually have a double Atari there, so this does not work. And you still have to fix this cut, because if you don't fix this cut, I can still kill your group down here. So, not the best way to play that. It's actually pretty interesting. I mean, this doesn't actually work right now. It fixes the cut, but it doesn't really do much else for him. because I can Atari here and then double Atari here. So there's too many cuts for him to just take care of all at once.
You have won.
Yeah. So the scoring system is the scoring system is well, it's white plus 80 right now, but let's actually go back and review this game. Let's actually go back and review this game because the starting's fine. Realistically, I think like blocking down is better, or honestly, I should just ignore. For white should probably just ignore this and go somewhere else. Like getting that stone, you have this option later, really. So like just having him play that, I think is already an advantage for white. So white should just go somewhere else. I ended up doing that. Yeah, that is this is the correct move because this is an easy Hane here. I would probably do this, and then I think this playing out wouldn't actually be so bad for black. Coming here, this is the right move for white because coming just playing this, I think this is a slight white advantage. You could also, I guess you could also opt for this. I wouldn't be able to Atari that way. I'm not really sure how that works, but either ways, we both made a lot of mistakes here. But when I Hane here, playing this, I play this. Here, I play here, and this is definitely a slight white advantage. Playing here, I'm going to retreat. Your points down here don't quite make up for the wall you're giving up over here. In terms of what I would do next for black, I would probably do this. White's wall is going to have some use, but if you play something like this, it reduces white's. First of all, it does build up your Moyo, and it does kind of reduce white's influence using this wall. So I would actually play K4. That's not too bad though. I'm going to go ahead and play this, try to use this wall, do this. Going to go ahead and do that. Although like here, maybe I should have just done this or probably just even jump to build my Moyo here. Gonna counter pincer. That's not good. I probably should just jump. You jump. I'm gonna jump up. That's gonna be the move that you want to make. This actually puts white in a really uncomfortable position. This does actually put white in a really uncomfortable position. I guess white could opt to do something like this. Come through this way. And that would be bad because white does actually have ways to connect back. So white's not dead in here or anything. White definitely has ways to connect back. But I would have definitely gone over top because if you force white to, do stuff like this to live, then, like you've kind of already achieved your goal. I mean, as white, I wouldn't do this because this would like actually make me lose the game. But if you can actually force white to do something like this, you gain so much territory here, and he's hurt his stones here so much. So to me, I wouldn't do that. I would just probably look at something like this. I would probably just look at something like, if you did this, I would probably just, sorry. If you did this, I would probably just look at doing something like this. I know the bottom territory is tempting there, but letting me jump out here puts more pressure on these stones. So this is not a good move. It doesn't really get black anything, and trading when you trade these moves, what you do is like the bottom invasion is not the bottom invasion I did now is really not defendable. After you've done those moves, the bottom invasion is really not that defendable. You can't cut here. You either do this or you do this because there's not really a good answer once I do this. Like if you do this, I can just come this way. You don't have a ladder here. And even if you manage to do this, if I come this way, you have a big problem because you just have to do that and I can just come up this way. And now this is cut off. So you cannot actually cut here. This is a pretty big loss this is a very big loss for black. It's too much territory. I think this is an even bigger loss, honestly. I didn't need to do this, I guess. I was kind of afraid of. I think since there's an extra liberty there, I don't have to do this. But I was kind of afraid, so I hadn't. I guess I didn't really need to do this. I have enough liberties, but I was a little bit afraid of him coming downward. I don't think I should. I should have just calculated because this is an easy calculation. He doesn't have enough liberties, so I basically just put an extra move there. I shouldn't have done that. Here, I do believe that this is actually worth the move. I do, yeah, you can go ahead and send an invitation. Just make it unranked. Make it unranked. So here, here instead of bowling here, I believe this is worth it because playing here takes away the base for white. It makes sure that your groups are actually connected, and there is a decent amount of territory down here. Now, there is still an invasion down here, but right now I wouldn't actually do this invasion because even if I did live, you would have a really good attack on these stones here. So if you did this, if you actually did this, it would elicit a response from me by playing here or just jumping, and then you can just do this afterwards. So this move is very O2 is very important because it makes sure that your group is solid safe and it takes away my basing. So when you did this, I immediately came down. When you did this, I immediately came down this way. Here, I'm not really sure if I would respond. I mean, I think playing here is fine, just to solidify your territory down here. Me playing this, of course, this is a pretty crucial move. At least I think so, because it does put pressure. It does put pressure on your black stones, while it helps me get out as well. That's fine. That move doesn't really make much sense. You probably just want to go ahead and do this. I was thinking at Q2 at the time, but I thought you would find a way. I mean, there could easily be a way for me to do this, but like this group isn't actually that strong, so I would have to do this first anyways. After I do this and I get like maybe a Sente, after I do this, maybe I get a Sente, maybe I would consider doing this, but this is much more dicey now since you have Q2. I mean, I think I still win that, but I still think I win that. Oh, I wouldn't play N1 right now. I wouldn't actually play N1 right now. I would still play N8 because this move doesn't really threaten your group. This move actually threatens your group. No, I wouldn't play N1 immediately. Like this move, I would definitely play N8. Like this move actually threatens your group. This move does not threaten your group. Yeah, N1 is a safety, but I wouldn't actually play N1 right now. I wouldn't actually play N1 right now. So you did this. I come up here. That's fine. This doesn't make any sense. This actually gives you the time to do this. This actually gives you the time to do this. Or maybe just like that. That would actually solidify a lot of your points here. This move doesn't really achieve anything. It doesn't block me on the outside. I mean, I guess it sort of protects against R9, but you actually have like these deficiencies over here, so it doesn't really protect you against much. So I'm gonna go ahead and invade here. Here you definitely want to cover on top. Giving up this one stone in the corner is too much. Even like I'm gonna be able to live here. There's really no way you can stop me with this. There's no way you can really stop this. I'm gonna be able to live here, regardless. So you're not gonna be able to stop me from living down here and taking the territory, but you want to do this because me actually living down here makes this group a lot weaker. Essentially, like you doing that, like you will actually make me a lot weaker here. Now you can attack my big group here. So you do like if I invade down here at this point, you got to trade out you got to trade out your bottom territory for influence, because there's no way. There's absolutely no way you're going to be able to keep your bottom territory. This just doesn't work for you. Like that's pretty much instantly dead. So that does not work for you. And this goes back. That invasion is actually like when I actually say like when I actually said like this was a bad move. These two moves were bad moves for black. That's why. If these two moves didn't exist, I wouldn't be able to invade the bottom. The real thing is like this is something that's hard for lower ranked players to understand. This is actually not a good this is actually not a good invasion. Like if I was playing an even game, I wouldn't actually invade here first because I would actually concentrate on probably moving this group out and securing that it's safe. Because if I actually do this, like if I actually do this, let's say if I actually do this, like it gives black too strong of an attack on my group here. It gives black way too strong of an attack on my group here. Just because I'm able to take some territory doesn't mean it's actually a good invasion, because it puts this group in under a significant amount of stress. So it's probably not worth it for white to make this invasion. You giving me the one stone makes it worth it, obviously, because even though you did protect some territory here, you gave me this territory and you let me settle my group. So that's actually worth a lot. Now I'm not afraid of you at all attacking my group. I was taught to always take sides when I can. That's generally a good strategy. In really low ranked play. But as you move higher in rank, you have to understand you have to start understanding trades and what's bigger. You can't sacrifice everything just to get a side. Because if you think about it, like you did take the side, but you got to count the points. You basically preserved 15 points, but you basically gave me 10, 12 points in here. So that's only a net loss of 3 points. That's only a net gain of 3 points for you. Plus the bigger part of it is that you actually settled my group, and that's worth way more than 3 points. So the thing is you do have to understand how trading works and like how much you're giving up versus how much you're getting. So this kind of a trade is very bad for black. This is a net at least 10. To me, this is at least net 10 points for white. This is why I'm slowly gaining on you right here. Cause the AI will say like when I make this invasion, I'm at plus 16.4, but immediately when you do this move, I'm at plus 23.4. So just by me trading, that's plus 7 points. And to me, it's actually worth more than 7 points, because to me, now you can't attack my group anymore, and I've already secured some territory. So trading the corner for the side is, in this situation, is not a good idea. This was just a test move. The correct response is to do this. If you actually did this, I would have just moved. I would have just went somewhere else. If you actually did this, I would have just went somewhere else. You can't do this because I can Atari this and then cut this. And actually, if I do Atari this, you should probably just connect and let me take these two. But that's a pretty big loss for black as well. But so you can't actually, when I do this, you can't actually cut. You should just do this. Like I said, if you did this, I would just go somewhere else. Because this is really not worth me playing. I was just kind of seeing if you knew how to respond. Here, yeah, I mean, I think blocking is the only thing you can do. This is definitely better. Because, yeah, this is definitely going to be better than this just because there's not this problem. So you played here. I go here. So you kind of should probably just do this. This could be problematic, but it's very hard for me to kill this group because this stone isn't exactly all that strong. This becomes really problematic after I jump here. I think here you can come here. Remember, I can't cut because you can just do this. At this point, I would probably protect. At this point, I would probably just do this. Or like here, or in this kind of shape, you can actually opt to do this. You just you play here first. Atari. So this is Sente for you. This is actually Sente for you to actually fix this cut if you want to, and then you could possibly play something like this. I don't think you have the ladder here, so I don't know. I don't think this ladder works here for you. So there might actually need to be some fighting calculation here. Oh no, never mind. The ladder does actually work for you, so that actually works for you pretty well. So this is one of those Tsuji things. This is one of those Tsuji things where if you see this kind of shape, you have to play that. You should play this, and then come out. This is still a very hard play for black, honestly. You can play here. You can play here. Like this group of white stones is weak, so you have an attack. Now, if you're worried about this, you really shouldn't be, because you can do this first, do this, and then you have a double Atari here. So the cut isn't really much of a problem. So this does take a lot of fighting. So basically, you're trying to use my weakness in these stones to try to bail this group out right now, and I think you got a decent chance to make it work. This is pretty complicated later on, and it depends on the two players' fighting strength overall. I could just do this. And see if you can actually live here. You probably can, but it's pretty damaging for black. Even if it's pretty damaging for black, even if you do live here. But yeah, like in this kind of situation, you have to play this move. This, I don't know if this works actually. I don't think it does. Yeah, that would just kill you. That doesn't actually work. Yeah, that wouldn't work because you'd just be dead. Would 9F? Which one? Nine F. No, this wouldn't work. From earlier? Let me actually go back on this. I don't think that works. I think that's how it actually ends out. So you actually made a pretty good move here because I messed up. You can just do this. I can't cut here because you can just do that to kill me. After I come out this way, you can connect here. I would keep on extending. It's very hard for me to cut here because of these 3 stones. So you definitely had a way. You definitely had a way out of this by just extending. This is also not a bad move. You just can't do that. Just extend this way. I have to extend out. And then you can just jump. $10K. I mean, these 2 stones are. I mean, you realistically, though, like realistically, these 2 stones, you like these 2 stones are important, but you can sacrifice them if you need to. Because like they're not like they're these 2 stones are only important because it cuts this group of mine. That's the only reason they're actually worth anything. If my group here wasn't weak, these 2 stones wouldn't be worth anything. They're not worth that many points. And it's much more important for you to get your big group out than these 2 stones. And you can still play something like this. You can still play something like this, and like just play. We can and play it out like that. I'm way ahead, obviously, right now, but this wouldn't be too bad because my group here is still not all that strong. Like these 2 stones aren't as important as all the group as your group here. The thing is, like in Go, in Go a lot of times you can't save all your stones. Like your goal in the game should not be to save all your stones because you're gonna lose that way. It should like you have to make the most optimal move at any given time, and a lot of times the optimal move is not to save all your stones. Because remember, like the point of Go is just to have more. The point of Go is just to have more points than the other person at the end of the game. It's not to kill all their stones, and it's not to save all your own stones. So a lot of lower rank people actually get trapped in that. Like it's like they have to save all their own stones to win the game. You don't have to save all your own stones to win the game. Like if you try to save all your own stones, a lot of times it'll end up losing you the game. So you got to get out of that mindset. Anyways, that's the review for this game. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to. I'm not really familiar with Fisher time. I think I'm going to do a handicap 4. I know, like, I know for a fact that I don't know if this guy's still here. That review might have taken too long. There we go. I'm not actually that familiar with Fisher time, so I know that like I teach very differently from Colossus. And he has a more simple explanation to move from DDK into SDK of like taking corners and sides. My instruction's a little bit different. Like I think I instruct more from a Dan level perspective. So I am going to tell you like to not make moves that he tells you to make because like I think like his method is playing it safe and not making mistakes and picking up your opponent's mistakes. And that actually works decently well up through a certain rank, but it won't like that style of play won't get you to a Dan level. Like to get you to a Dan level, you do have to learn some of these Josekis. You do have to understand some of these trades. You do have to understand some of the trades. Like this is actually not a good move. I'm just seeing if a lot of the people actually know how to respond. That's actually not the right response. You should either play P3 or just block on R4. He's going to take too many stones to secure a couple of points here. This doesn't actually matter all that much. He can kill the stone anytime he wants. It's not a big deal. The reason why I say the reason that you play P2 is that like then when he goes this way, you can just immediately come here and kill this stone, and it's just much cleaner. Whereas here he didn't really get anything. G2. G3 is going to be better than G2. I actually probably wouldn't respond to this. For black, if I was black, I probably wouldn't respond. I'd just go elsewhere. That's not going to be a good move. This is a really bad trade for him. This is a very, very bad trade for black. He just doesn't get many points here, and he gave up both the corner and the side. And now my group is pretty solid. Now my group is actually solid enough to where I don't really need to respond to whatever he attacks, and he still leaves something like F2 available. And also, like with this here, you also have E2 available because he made my group here a lot stronger. So these are the ways that like I slowly claw back in handicap games. Like just mistakes like that I understand, but that my opponent might not understand. Actually, I need to edit this to make sure I actually have monetized this right, because monetization is actually pretty important. I wish the default was actually on. I need to figure out how to turn the default on monetization. I'm gonna make sure it's on there. This might look big. There's actually very few points down there. I'm going to extend on this side, because if I extend in the corner, I'm not sure if it's alive or not. You see, like, what all these plays here, it basically got him just a couple of points here, and the side and the corner is just so much bigger. So giving me a free leg there isn't really that smart, because there's just not many points here. So like S11 wasn't a good move. You already have this move here. If you want to attack, you should probably find another way. I'm just going to bounce once more. He might be looking at, okay, he's looking at the territory down there. That's fine. There's still room to attack this, by the ways. His method right now is just to secure as much points as possible. He obviously secured the corner there, so I can't do anything about that. But that's fine, actually. I've disrupted enough of his territory at this point. Okay, now he's going to try to threaten this group. That's actually a good idea. Play this first. There's points there. That's why I'm playing that first. That's already a pretty big advantage for me. So I'm just gonna make like I'm gonna try to make shape moves to solidify a couple of eyes in here. I could also come out, which is probably the smarter play. So if I actually play S14, I'm alive. So if he wants to kill me, he has to play S14. Is S14 a good play? Probably not. But if he wants to kill me, that's what he's got to play. Because as soon as I play S14, I'm alive. Of course, I'm going to connect. You can't do that right now. I mean, this is an Atari, so
Challenge received.
really, really dedicated to killing me there. But the issue with that is I can come out here. So because you didn't seal me in, there's realistically very little chance of you killing me. I think there's just too many ways for me to actually make eyes here to have a realistic chance of actually killing me. If I play here, I'm more or less alive. Also, if I play here, it's very hard for him to kill me. So there's multiple ways for me to live here. That's fine. He's building this. That's not the best way to do it. There's a couple points in there. I'm not really concerned with that. There's bigger moves elsewhere that need to be made. I feel like giving up the corner here is going to be a big loss for him. And plus, he hasn't actually fixed everything. Because now there's really no way he can actually keep this corner. If I just play c3. He has to block that, by the way. Yeah. I'm not too worried about his territory up here. If I get the entire side, I'm fine. Even if he makes his territory up here, if I get the entire side, I'm perfectly fine. To make sure that doesn't die. But now this group is kind of trapped in, so I'm a little bit concerned about that group now. Although there are still things here that I can do. Moves like G18 are pretty important now because I have to respond. He's going to try to opt to cut me. Well, I can play that, I guess. Can also opt to play that way. And just try to take his take this corner instead and see what he does with this group here. Because taking his corner is quite big. K18 and H18. No, because I can just do this first. And right now that's not the issue. That's not the issue we're fighting over right now. I mean, he can take these two stones. If I get the corner, that's fine. K18, I can just play K17, and he has to connect this, and I can just connect. So that's not a big thing. Oh, crap, there is something he can do. There is definitely something he can do here. I messed up. There's definitely something you can do here. Not exactly the way I do it, but okay. Also, this is problematic for him because I can just go ahead and play the ko. Now I have to find a ko. This should work. This ko is like really, really big. But it's not like he cannot answer my ko. Not answering this ko is not an option.
Challenge received.
I don't think I'm going to play too many more games today. I think he has to extend down. But if he does extend down, that's going to present a really big problem for me. Because I don't really have any more kos. After that, I mean, he realistically he doesn't either. But if he extends down, that's going to be problematic. That's not a ko. Also, like, I mean, I'm not completely. I don't even need to do this because there's that. So I'm not. I'm gonna ignore that now. I don't know if I can make this alive, but I can give it a shot. I think I can now, though. Did I screw this up? I probably did, didn't I? I think it's at least ko. If not, just outright alive. It's probably Ko. No, it's dead, actually. I think it's dead. Pretty sure it's dead, actually. We'll see.
Challenge received.
There is something here. He can play he can't kill this entire group, but he can play M12 first to kill these stones. So if I connect, then he can play this and try to kill this group. So if he played M12, I might have to do that first and just let him cut these stones. That's not the priority right now, but it is something to keep in mind. Um, this doesn't really work. This is an already in Atari, so if he takes this, I can just take these. Best move is still this. Because then I would have to fight this Ko, which I don't want to do. Nope. I still think I need to make a move down here for this group. I'm going to play G19 soon to make sure my thing is alive. I don't think it's completely alive. I can't. I don't quite think it's completely alive yet. Like, he doesn't know how to kill it, but that doesn't mean it's completely alive. There's no reason to do that. Like I do actually need to play G19, which I'm going to do right now. I think that's at least Seki, so I'm not too concerned about that anymore. Whether it's Seki or alive, I'm actually not that concerned. It's the right move, because you need this territory here. I don't think you need to do that. You can go here, though. That's the only problem. I'm not going to fight that Ko with him, obviously. Eh. Oh, yeah, you needed to go the other way. Not that it matters all that much. Also, you need to block that. Can I do anything here? I don't know. I don't think I can. I think this group is too vulnerable down here. I think the group is way too vulnerable for me to do anything. I can get a Sente on this, though, so I guess it's not completely in vain. Yes, that's Sente. There's too many. The liberties are way too tight here for me to do anything. Otherwise, I would. Yeah, it's fine. Take this first, and I have to take this. Okay, we can do that. That's fine as well. fine. Making a couple of points here with this move. That's perfectly fine. I think just like going down here was probably bigger, but maybe. We'll see. It's actually not a bad move at all. Takes a lot of the corner. Didn't expect him to come up with that one. He's playing a pretty good endgame overall. I don't think he needs. I don't need to play there. If he takes this, I can just connect. No, he's not going to answer that. Not really sure what else there is. Probably just this. There's also this, I guess. He could have played t7. Not interested in that. I'm just gonna go come down here. The T7 move. Oh, I have to take it, and then he plays this. I can't connect because then he can cut S4. He should connect this. If I take it, he has to connect this. And that's not one he wants to fight. He should just has no consequences for me at all. So he's just play q5. Should have just went ahead and played q5 there. This is not a ko that he wants to fight. Like I said, there's no consequences for me on this ko. And there's a lot of consequences for him on this ko. So it isn't one he wants to fight. Like, there's just a bunch of throwaway crap I can do on this ko. Like, he definitely needs to connect this. Because there is literally like a ton of stuff I can just do here. He actually doesn't gain anything from this ko, is the thing. And he can stand to lose a lot. I think I ran out of ko threats, which is actually really lucky for him. Destroy a couple points, but that's actually not a ko he wants to fight. So he can't just fight this ko with me to the end because he's not going to win. I mean, he can do that, I guess, but why? He just needs to connect. This is too big for him to actually fight. Can't do that. There's problems here. A lot of big problems here. I mean, fortunately for him, I'm out of ko threats. Because I'm out of ko threats, I can't actually do anything here. But the thing is, if I actually did have ko threats, this would be incredibly problematic for him. But I can still take advantage by doing something like this. Like, you can't actually fight this with me. You're going to lose one of these ko threats. You're going to lose one of these, and you're probably going to lose this one unless you have a really big ko threat somewhere, which I don't think he does right now. He could try this, but even with this, I would probably just take it. He can come here, I can come here, I'm alive. There's not that many points down there. There's not that much he can do there. Yeah, you can't do that because I can just do this. I think I was ahead anyways before this. But obviously I'm way ahead now. And you need to connect, yes. I can still do this though. It's fine, that's how, this corner is actually much bigger. I think he just didn't see this one. I think he did just fail to see this. I'm just going to connect this just in case. I don't think there's anything there, but I'm just going to connect just in case. There's not a point there, so I'm going to tarry this. I can just fill in the dame at this point.
Pass. Remove the dead stones.
Yeah, even before this, I was ahead, but obviously that just sealed it.
You have won.
So let's actually go back and review this game. Like even before this, I was well ahead. Like before this, he made this mistake here. I was already well ahead, so that didn't actually determine the game. That just made me ahead by even more. So handicap 4 plus 40.7 is a spot. This move, you either play this or you play this. You play this, he does this, you just take this. This is a pretty basic trade Joseki type of thing. You can do this and then you cut here. White doesn't really have a good play for this. I think white plays this, and this is kind of how it ends up. So invading the corner is actually not a good move, but this is the wrong response. You should do this and then cut. Black simply does not get enough here. This is not a good invasion right now. If I sacrifice those two, if I just jump and sacrifice those two, that's fine for white as well. Here, you just need to kind of do like something like that instead. If you're going to play this. This is pretty disastrous for black. Like all of this thickness got you just a few points. You gave up the corner and you gave up the side. I could have extended this too. I don't know if this is actually alive though. Here you just cut. I think white has to Atari this way, and then I'm pretty sure white's just. I'm pretty sure white's dead. Yeah, white's that's kind of dead here. There is some issue with this because I don't think there's that much issue with it, honestly. White's still dead. Don't really see a way out of it. So that's why I didn't extend in that corner. So I extended out this way. It's not a good move. If you want to kill it, you just play this. If you want to attack it, you play this. You don't play the lower move. Lower move gives me an automatic hit there if I want to play it. Here you would think about doing this, just going over top as well. Because this white group's not alive. So even if you lose some bottom territory, if you get enough thickness to really try to kill this group, it's probably worth it. This is me overextending, but it's a handicapped game, so I kind of have to. You don't want to let me get a free this move, so you might want to think about playing there. Or at least you might want to think about playing this. Or you could just not respond and just seal the outside. I'm going to live. I'm most likely going to live here. I don't think you can actually kill me. But if you seal the outside and just let me live, that's perfectly fine. Yeah, you can't do this. Like, you have to connect. Yes, I can live here, but you probably weren't able to kill this. You're probably not going to be able to kill this group anyways. So this cost you that cost him quite a lot. I think this is just trying to overkill. There's too many ways for me to live here. Like I did later. That's pretty much alive. You can't really be too bloodthirsty. If you're too bloodthirsty, it's going to get you in a lot of trouble. Here, you'd probably just do this. If you really want to kill, you can try doing that. I wouldn't, but you can try doing that if you really want to kill. So that's actually not a good move for white. White should just keep extending. So I'm going to keep extending. Going to keep extending. That I don't have to connect. I could have just honestly done this. You're spending a lot of moves building a couple of points up here. And while there are points up here, like one single move like this basically is going to be as big as however many points you can build up here. I'm willing to do this with you right now. I'm willing to do this with you right now because I do realize that the amount of territory you can get here is pretty limited. Here, I would not connect this. I would do this. You can still seal him that way, or maybe even like that. You need to be able to have a dual purpose to try to seal some territory up here. So I wouldn't actually do this. I think this is a little slow. I mean, it's not a bad move, but I think it's a little slow. On retrospect, I probably should have just done that. This is a little too dangerous because I forgot, even if I connect these two groups, it may not be alive. You should just go ahead and do this first. I can't, you would, because if I do this, you have this move, and if you kill all this, you're going to win, obviously. So I don't actually know what I would do if you actually did this, because I've already let you cut my group. So this would be really bad for me. I totally welcome this. And here, like, you should just do this as well. Because right now I can't really cut you. What you did in allowing me to take a stone first is you allowed me to play the you allowed me to play the ko. That's not a ko. You need to you would actually extend down. I would be forced to extend down. You can play the ko again. Now I would actually kind of be out of ko's at this point because this isn't really a ko. I mean, I could do this, I guess. Now, this would be okay for me, actually. That'd be perfectly fine for white. I guess it sort of is a ko. If you did this... No, that doesn't work. So I guess it sort of is a ko if I do that. Not as big of a deal as the last one, because I don't actually kill your stones. Atari, do this, Atari here, wrap around. That's how that sequence works for white. You do give up a lot of your side, but you did take his side as well. That's not a ko, so I'm just going to go ahead and take that. This is not really much of a threat, so I just went ahead and did this. I don't know if I really had to answer or not, but I just went ahead and did this. So now I got Sente again. So I'm going to go ahead and try to make this alive. Here, I think that would probably be the right move. Or actually, no. Here, I think White's just dead. I do actually think White's just dead here. So that's how you should actually kill that. You don't have to answer every move I make. So you gotta like figure out how to strategically kill me here. This might be. This is Ko. I suppose this is actually Ko to actually live. So it might actually end up being Ko or something. But you need to figure out a way to kill these stones. So you just let me live, you probably don't have enough points. So like when I do this, this is going to be the bigger move here. Since I already have these in Atari, I'm not really going to care if you take this stone. This doesn't really make much sense. And you would actually Tiger's Mouth here. Instead of just connect, you would Tiger's Mouth. You didn't. I don't think you needed to do this. I think the liberties are too tight for me to do anything here. Here you would take this first. Force me to take this, and then just do this. The reason I didn't do this is because you have this move. Everything's connected. It's a nice sequence. There's no points here. You should definitely block this. And of course, that's just finishing up. This is just a silly little mistake at the end, but I was already up by like 17, 18 points. So I think there was like several major mistakes were made in the corner fighting here. He could have easily killed one or both my groups. And of course, like the Joseki trade here was not favorable to him. So that's going to be the lesson for today. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button. I will be back sometime later, and I will see you guys next time.